Welcome to the
Fuck's sake.
Go on, do it. Sorry.
You've got nothing to say.
Fine. Welcome to the What About Cynics podcast. Today we'll be discussing such things as Disney cancelling LucasArts, the Xbox 720, virtual reality, and Metal Gear Solid. Also, Ellen DeGeneres in Finding Dory. Stay tuned.
Fuck that.
Alright, so LucasArts. As we know, then Disney have just done the second controversial move, first being hiring J.J. Abrams, of their tenure over Star Wars. So, what do we think of such a prestigious gaming studio finally biting the dust?
It's 10 years too late. That's what I say.
Ouch.
They've not made a good game since Day of the Tentacle in 1994.
Was Grim Fandango before or after that? Or Monkey Island?
It was after it. Because Grim
no.
Fandango was 3D, so fuck if they make Grim Fandango and they said, let's go back to that Day of the Tentacle look.
Fine. I don't. Yeah. Fine. Yeah. Okay. In that case,
Grim
LucasArts made
Fandango is
plenty of
better.
good games.
Grim Fandango is pretty great, but yeah, but they're all in the 90s.
They made a couple of good. There was some good Star Wars games in the 2000s. I can basically only think of Battlefront and Battlefront 2, but they were good games, I'm sure.
Yeah, why did they make Free Radical make Battlefield 3?
Battlefield 3 or
Battlefront 3.
I'm not sure because it seemed obviously it didn't work because then they went bankrupt.
Was it because LucasArts were really fucking incompetent and should have been shut down?
Probably. Well, actually, no. Now I think about it, didn't Pandemic make number 1 and 2? Oh
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
There's Jedi Starfighter,
Yeah.
and there was KOTOR. Come on, they made KOTOR.
Oh, KOTOR's a terrible game.
Well, people like it. It's got a high Metascore.
No, they
Why do
didn't.
people like it?
No, they didn't. BioWare made.
Oh, bloody hell. Fine.
They haven't made any of the good fucking.
Fine. Shut
Star
down
Wars
LucasArts.
games.
See if I care.
Good. God, it's such a piece of shit. Why is anyone frightened or
all I care about is Ron Gilbert, and he's safely not making any more Monkey Island games. So.
It's basically
Yeah.
Monkey Island then.
Well, they made The Force Unleashed 1 and 2, and they made Jedi Starfighter. I think I'm the only person who's played any of those out of us. But yeah, they've made. Yeah, they helped on Soul Calibur 4 with the whole Darth Vader thing.
Oh, they helped. They helped. What did they send through? A fucking drawing? It's like, yeah, this is what he looks like. Fuck you.
Fine. No, Yeah, well, even actually, the LucasArts brand name is still continuing. It's just the studio actual that has been cancelled because LucasArts is still obviously a name that people trust because of years of loyal service, and so
I don't trust them.
well, plebs do.
Yeah, I guess so.
And so then like you're still going to see LucasArts branded stuff when eventually Disney decides that they want to get some money from all those licenses.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, I still think they should release Battlefront 3. I still think, by the way, that Battlefront 3 isn't getting released because it was made by Free Radical, and because of the tits up that they did with Hayes, I actually think it's a bad game. And that people who have seen it are like, no, we're not doing this.
Well,
we're not releasing this because this is bullshit. Because 99% done. That's what they've claimed, whatever that means.
Well,
I still think it's a badly made game.
Like First Assault or ever the second, because when LucasArts had the plug pulled on it, was working on 2 games, 1313 or 1313 or whatever we're going to call it.
The game about Boba Fett, as we know now.
Yeah,
The most interesting character. He's actually quite a good game protagonist because he doesn't speak much.
True. Well, it's like there was a game that LucasArts made called Bounty Hunter, based around Jango Fett, and that's one of my favorite Star Wars games. Probably one of my favorite games on the PS2. It was a really good game.
Okay.
It was all about just being a bounty hunter, but yeah, equally, because Jango Fett, like his son, has no personality and is basically just a grimacing man, then they're not bad protagonists.
Okay.
But no, anyway, the other game that LucasArts was making was called First Assault or something, and it was apparently because obviously, like you said, they couldn't use most of the Battlefront 3 stuff. Then this was like the spiritual successor per se.
Okay.
But while 1313 has been saved, then there's been no news of First Assault. So
No, it hasn't been saved.
Not looking. Well, I thought I just read that it had been saved. It had
No,
been.
no, they're just cum dumping just information on the internet now. That's
Oh,
gone. I mean,
oh,
they said I've read that apparently they could release it, but the chance of it being released is improbable.
oh. Okay. Well, yeah. So see, if nothing else, then that's sad because as much as we don't like Boba Fett, then 1313 looked alright, and I was really looking forward to a spiritual successor to Battlefront.
Okay.
So.
Hey, do you want to talk about another completely washed up game company? ID Software, or id Software. They've had to fucking reboot Doom 4 again, which they've been working on for about 5 years.
What else
And
have ID Software made? Sorry.
they made the Doom games, the Quake games, and then they made Rage a few years ago, which was pretty average.
Oh, they seem like a bit of a one-trick horse.
And they are a one-trick horse. I don't know. I don't know why these shitty game companies, how they're staying in favor. Because it just seems like any sort of free radical, right? They make shitty games every now and again, but they had made good games. But because they didn't have like the separate funding, they went out of business really quickly. Whereas LucasArts just had George Lucas just pumping money in for no reason, and then id Software they license out their engine. So it just seems like shitty game companies just being kept going for no fucking reason.
Well, this is true. Well, I'm under no doubt that the one reason that LucasArts did get shut down is because Disney looked at it and went, yeah, this is financially unviable for how much they produce. Because there was probably a lot of talent who felt like they had to be paid a lot of money to be there.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Apparently, it was good.
But I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was like I got sad when Studio Liverpool closed down. The guys who made all those good Sega games. I don't know. There's always something.
Right on.
It's the loss of a brand.
Studio Liverpool though is a shit name.
Yeah, it definitely was. Well, it used to be called Syngenis or something. What was it? I can't remember. It was Psychogenesis or something.
Oh, them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd remember that name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they
even
got,
though you didn't,
yeah.
and you like them.
Yeah, well, because I haven't got it to hand. But yeah,
Psygnosis.
that was it. Thank you.
They made a shit PC game called Destruction Derby, which is probably one of the first PC games I've ever played.
They played one of the first games I ever played as well, which is the Toy Story 1 Sega game.
Oh fuck! Is that the one where you play Woody, like fucking snocking stuff with your?
Yeah,
with
that's
your
the
that
one-
is
the one
an
and only.
amazing game. I actually only completed that game because I got stuck on several missions, and I'd like turn off the computer, and when I restarted it, I was on the next level. I thought, all right, it was just a really weird bug, which just made me complete the game.
Well, I remember I had all the passwords in the back, and I'd kind of try and complete them legitimately, but because I was like a retarded kid, then I was just like, yeah, whatever.
And also the last level of that game, I swear to God, was glitched. I couldn't make Buzz go up, so in the flying mission, he'd slowly go down until he just got run over by a car.
Surely Buzz can't go up because he's fooling with style.
Exactly, but yeah, he fell with fucking style to his death and took Woody with him.
Well, maybe all development companies are shit then. Apparently,
I just quite like that. Maybe that was their idea for the sort of the game, in that they were showing what a realistic Toy Story was like, and actually Buzz and Woody wouldn't make it.
Ultimately tragic.
Really? Right. So next thing to discuss, we're going into this naturally. About 720 developers now have the development kit, and it's getting announced in August.
We're looking forward to the second console failure of the late 2013.
Really? Are you saying the PS4 is doing alright, or are you talking about the Wii U?
No, I'm saying the PS4 and the Xbox 720 will probably fail.
I think the PS4 will do well, but I mean the Xbox will do well, but it's the two things that won't make it do well are the rumored stuff that basically it's been rumored that it might not play second-hand games.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it will only have one game. You'll only be allowed to play one game per console, which is retarded and kind of says "fuck you" to all the slightly poor people who play consoles.
Yeah, and game IRL game shops struggle as it is in real life. But one of the few advantages is pre-owned titles. Like that's despicable.
Exactly, and not even for that reason. Like it allows you to buy it, because it's a long-term investment. Because if you buy a game risk-free, second-hand, and you like it, you might then go on to buy a new game, sort of, from that company.
Well, indeed. I mean,
Next
I bought Dynasty Warriors 2 second-hand for like £2 ages ago, and now I've played everything from 3 to 7.
Yeah.
So.
And also, it stops you from playing games that aren't in the shops anymore. It means that once you've missed
But
a
that
game,
really helps them. That means that
Yeah.
people can only buy like the big ticket A-list games. That's the only thing that games shops will sell now.
Yeah, but that's kind of annoying because it's not even like I only heard about Shadow of the Colossus after it was out of shop.
Yeah, like no other medium does this or would ever consider doing this.
And it's weird because it would be a non-sale, surely. If you weren't buying it, for the most part, if you're buying it second-hand, you're probably not buying it new. So surely you're just fucking over people who wouldn't even count to your base anyway. Is this just like a really weird attack on the game shops just because they don't like them? Because there doesn't seem to be any other reason.
They don't seem to particularly like digital download either.
It's the cynical gaming industry stealing everyone's money because they can.
Oh, in all fairness, if only Xbox do it, it's the cynical Microsoft industry.
Well, I don't know because it's like the PS4 won't let the PS3 PSN sales go through to the PS4.
Sure. I assume there's a reason for that though.
I know. I bet there isn't. I bet it's just for some reason the game industry seems to be way more exploitative.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop them doing it.
No, but no. What's happened is that because there's the architecture different, there's no backwards compatibility. What they're allowing you to do is stream PS3 games and PS2 games over the OnLive service.
Oh well, aren't they nice?
So you won't be playing it on your PS4. You'll be playing it somewhere else.
But what takes more technology to put in a OnLive service that can stream PS2 games or simple backwards compatibility?
Well, it's completely. Remember, they're moving. They don't have the cell processor or anything, so it's a completely different thing.
But surely,
I assume it's going to cost a lot of money. I assume they've worked out and it's a lot cheaper.
No, I've assumed that what they want is for you to rebuy everything on the PSN.
Yeah, I mean, remember when you're buying a PS4, you're spending how much is it going to be?
They haven't released, but about $399.
Yeah, you're spending as much as a small computer, which can definitely run PS3 games and PS2 games without any problem. Give it the hardware to do so. And a PS4 is going to have a much more limited scope, so.
Yeah, but surely it's because it's a different architecture. Like it would be like you have to port a game.
I'm really surprised you're sticking up for this. It seems pretty indefensible.
I'm just questioning how much effort it would require.
Yeah,
well, it's made of PC parts now, so surely it would be like porting a PS2 game over to a PC.
But think of the PS2 and the PS and how that played PS1 games, and that was virtually effortless. And they made a profit on the PS2, unlike the PS3.
Yeah,
clearly this technology isn't a million miles, and it's not like the PS2 to PS3 discs were any any larger jump than PS1 to 2.
Sure, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, they've.
I don't know. Anyway, we should be talking about the Xbox 720.
I assume they're trying to make a profit on the console now.
No, they're trying to make a profit on the games. They're trying to get everyone to rebuy it, They basically want you to rebuy Battlefront 2.
Well, we all agree that they just want profit.
It doesn't matter to them, which is fine. Like, they are a company, but, like, I have a PS3 and PS2 and PS1, so it doesn't bother me.
Well, indeed, but
maybe that's what they're thinking.
The thing about the big game companies only seeking profit now is because it's a oligopoly. All they need to do is the three of them all agree, yeah, we're just gonna be extortionate as fuck, and then no one can stop them. Apart from the PC gaming industry, which is sort of in its own little bubble.
Except when it's being fucked by EA.
By the way, I think console sales are going down, so I don't know why they'd suddenly get really self-destructive. I'm sure they're not that retarded.
Well, this is the thing.
Why do you say console sales are going down?
Because they are.
But that's probably because it's the end of the generation.
No, I mean, they've gone, they're not selling as well as they did the previous generation, and the game sales are down as well.
I find that very hard to believe.
It is. Well, think how much, the PS2 sold. You'll never see that again. That was
Well,
250
true,
million.
but think of the Wii explosion and
Yeah,
like
but that's slowed down.
Yeah. Also, people don't really
quick.
seem to count the Wii when they discuss consoles in what
True.
might be the most biting kind of indictment of it.
Yeah, but I think the Wii was weird because the Wii, like, per console only sold like 4 games. Like it,
yeah, I can believe that.
the Wii
Yeah,
has like
it's
a
'cause
really
everyone bought
small.
the Wii Sport.
Exactly, the Wii has a really small like console to game ratio.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well,
But anyway,
I mean, what even happened to the Wii U? Because I swear I don't know a single person who's bought one.
Do I?
I mean, I'm assuming it's the same like group of 7 to 10-year-olds who battered their parents into buying the Wii.
Well, there's like I read there was like quite an interesting survey that like people just don't understand that the Wii U is a new thing
Oh
because
yeah,
it hasn't been as aggressively marketed as the Wii was, and it's just sort of it's slipped up on them, and like people don't know that the Wii U is either exists or is different from the Wii.
Well, Simon, do you remember? Were you watching the Wii? Were you? I hate that name. The Wii U release conference with me and Jake.
No.
Oh yeah, because we were watching it, and I couldn't work out what they were selling. I thought it was just a pad.
Oh yeah, no, I saw the one
Yeah,
where
exactly.
no one knew what the fuck they were talking
Exactly.
about.
And the thing is, like, you and I are supposed to be like we're the optimum consumer. Like we know
Are we?
what we're buying.
Well,
you know,
not of the Wii U.
No. I mean, like, but we will at least know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
And know what's going. We'll know about games that we're not going to buy. Like we do. Like we just know about stuff. So if you got fucking average retarded Joe, who
Yeah, I
doesn't-
see what you
who doesn't-
mean.
who
Yeah,
doesn't
like
even
as
know,
as
what
dedicated patrons of the gaming industry,
Exactly.
we should be able to work out
Exactly.
what the Wii U is
Exactly.
from the
Like,
conference.
average
Maybe it's a
retarded Joe
boon.
will pick up a bike game and just call it Bike Game, not like whatever, like Dirt Road 3 or whatever the fuck it's called.
But maybe that's what they're relying on, because like you said, we know what it is, or we know that we don't understand what it is, and therefore the conclusion is probably terrible. Whereas they'll look at it and be like, "Oh, look, a new Wii. Old Wii was good for my kid." Like, I don't know. This
That's a weird. I never want to say that. That's the only thing that can be said in the 21st century.
what old Wii was good.
Oh, old Wii was good for kid.
Why is it even? I mean, what was it used to? Didn't they want to call it the Revolution or something? Or
No, that-
Revolution was a
GameCube.
great name.
That was the GameCube, man. That was ages ago.
Well, no,
No, the Revolution was the Wii.
Good.
GameCube was the Dolphin.
that was it. Ha,
That is retarded.
the
I
dolphin. Isn't that
I was thinking about this. I don't know. I was thinking about this while I was taking a shit because I ran out of stuff to think about. But I do think it's weird that the PlayStation is the only one that went for numbered sequels. That's quite a good idea. I don't know why no one had ever done it before.
well, maybe because
Sure.
the PlayStation went for that, and so the other two felt, oh, we can't copy.
It's true.
No, because why is it called the 360, or is it just because it was kind of all-encompassing? Is it just a gimmick name?
It's a gimmick name. I don't know why everyone's calling it the 720.
Oh,
Like,
that's
That's
funny.
what comes after 360.
It's doing
Well,
it twice. It's twice as all-encompassing.
Well, I say it kind of mockingly. I assume people just say it because it's like a placeholder name.
Basically. Yeah, but at least the PlayStation 4, you can just call it PlayStation 5. The placeholder name is the name. You've already got the marketing out there.
True. Well, there was. I mean, with the Wii, I understand because the Wii was a kind of a departure from the GameCube, and the GameCube itself was a departure from the N64. But I think with the Xbox 360 could have been called the Xbox 2. And
Yeah.
equally, obviously, the Wii U could have easily been called the Wii 2, but that's also a gay name. But
Not as gay as Wii U. I think we'll agree.
But what's weirder is that they didn't stick with like GameCube U, because at least GameCube is a good name. They picked the worst name they could, and then they thought, yeah, let's put that on the next one.
I don't know, because like I mean, Wii has become one of those words that at first you go, oh, that sounds retarded. But
It
like
is.
just because it's like such a cultural icon now,
Yeah.
and like it's so ingrained into the public consciousness, like people don't find it silly anymore, which kind of means that it worked.
well, no,
the-
I mean, we were just talking about how retarded it still sounds.
exactly.
Well, Wii U sounds retarded. I'm sure we'll get used to that as well if anyone
God.
buys it.
I hope I never get used to Wii U.
Anyway.
If I
Does
do,
that-
they've broken me.
Does that work with anything? Like, can we
Yeah.
just release a console called the Fuck Nugget, and if we leave it for 5 years, it will sink into the social consciousness. Then we can release Fuck Nugget U.
That is exactly what
And it
will
was-
happen.
Jesus Christ.
I hate capitalism.
I may as well be dead.
It distorts people.
Capitalism's fine. Nintendo on.
Nintendo. Oh god, that's the point. Where is my Wii U Pokemon Stadium? Bastards. I keep forgetting that the Wii U's Nintendo because I equate Nintendo with good things still for some reason.
But at 720, we're all agreed that lack of backwards compatibility is fine.
Well, did you hear that the first
Yeah.
CEO has come out and said that he thinks the console generation will actually be good? I can't remember who it was. It was another gaming company.
What do you mean he said it'd be good?
Well, because they've all been weighing in like Nvidia and Firefly, whatever they were, Firefox, I can't remember. We're talking about how it would be terrible compared to the PC. Well, for the first developer has come out and been like, yeah, no, it looks alright.
It's nice, yeah. I think it looks fine.
Well, that's because you seem to have a soft spot for the PS.
Well, consoles are just just homogenized PCs that people don't like for people who can't build PCs and don't know what they're talking about. So I think they're still fine, and they have like nice little, the online services work fine. Like they're not great, but it's if you can't be bothered to build a PC, you have a console, and they have pretty good exclusives as well. I'll probably get a PS4.
Fair enough. I think I'll probably opt out of this generation. Though if I was going to get anything, I'd get a PS4.
Because we haven't seen the Xbox 720, but the fact that people keep pushing that it might not have secondhand games, fuck that.
Well, I'm thinking more in terms of the exclusives, because in this generation I've had to suffer through the fact that the Xbox gets everything that the PC does, whereas the PS3 got everything that it didn't.
That's true, and also the Xbox just lost exclusives towards the end. I think it had Judgment.
It lost Halo, I think is what you mean.
It's lost Halo. Who gives a shit about Halo?
A lot of people do give a shit about Halo.
Halo 4 was so average. It was unbelievable. I hate Halo 4. Anyway, I'm sorry.
We should probably skip this on.
So anyway,
virtual reality. The future is here.
Oculus Rift. Feel the rift.
Interestingly enough, a Kickstarter that I didn't invest in. So there you go.
Has that Katawa Shoujo?
Oh yeah, it's been ages. I think didn't I show you it?
No.
Oh okay, yeah, I got it.
Does anyone invest in Kickstarters anymore?
I invested in Kickstarter the other day, Simon. How
Really?
did you feel? Yeah.
On what?
A keyring that when you plugged into your phone gives you 4 hours extra battery.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Does it already exist?
Huh?
It already exists.
Well, this one was in the shape of a fuel can.
Fuck's sake.
Hey, it was like $12. I worked out it was cheaper to invest in that than it was to actually buy one.
That makes sense.
And that's what Kickstarter basically is now, a shop. So anyway, no, VR. Thanks to Kickstarter, then now we have the first per se virtual reality helmet / mask.
Helmet.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a mask. And it was recently brought to prominence by the fact that TF2 and Valve, the visionaries that they are, have made it the first game to be fully supported for this thing. Because up until then, people just had a GIMP mask.
So does the mask replace your display?
Yeah.
Or does it replace all of your peripherals?
It replaces the display and the speakers, so it just encompasses your head like a base.
Yeah, you've still got to use the keyboard. And
what
the
if
mouse.
you forget where your hand is on the keyboard?
Then you don't use a keyboard, you use a controller, like any normal human being would.
What, for TF2?
For TF2?
I don't think so.
Yeah, what?
Okay, so this thing is only usable with consoles. We've
No, it's
established
not.
that.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Harvey just said a stupid thing. It's it's perfectly viable for it to be used with a keyboard and mouse.
Yeah. Just don't forget where your fingers are.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, hell, we can all they say touch typing is a skill, but we all possess it just naturally at this point. So you can locate your fingers. And I'm assuming you can see out the bottom of it. Or is it literally a mask?
No, it's designed so that if wherever you look, you can only see the screen.
You're gonna perspirate like a bitch in that thing.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that it covers your peripheral vision is all well and good, like immersion and stuff. But I actually quite like having peripheral vision when I'm doing a task. That's actually what peripheral vision is for. It's so that you can look at things that aren't what you're concentrating on. So I don't want to live in a world where in order to play games, I have to put on a mask and not be able to be aware of anything that's happening around me.
But why? You don't live in a fucking wood anymore. You live in some sort of suburbia. Like no, except it would be fucking hilarious to have your your house robbed while you were sitting around like a dickhead on an Oculus Rift, and the last thing they nick is the Oculus Rift.
Well, yeah, makes sense.
That like I don't know because I understand that I don't think it's ever going to replace the PC desktop screen, but
Yeah, that'd be
I think-
ridiculous doing a Word document like, oh, I'm really immersed.
but I think it's definitely a valid step in the right because we all kind of want virtual reality.
I think it's cool. I used to own a really early virtual reality one. It was pretty fun.
I was just in your like affluent childhood.
It
Kind of like
cost-
the holodeck.
It cost 20 quid.
No way.
Yeah, it was
How
from
come you-
Argos.
Oh, fine, whatever. I like to imagine you just playing in a holodeck in the mansion.
Exactly. Fuck, if I had that, Jesus Christ. Why would I be using a fucking flat screen? I'm just seeing that thing all day.
Well, I'm assuming the government confiscated it because you were too far ahead of your time. Like, no, stop investing in controversial R&D. Got to kickstart your virtual reality like everyone else.
Speaking of which, I forgot to tell you, but I saw one of the best Wi-Fi names a few days ago.
Go on.
It was Wayne Enterprises R&D department or whatever it's called, and it said Bruce Wayne Enterprise, and I thought it was great. But anyway,
I like that. And maybe that's how Bane found it, because it makes no sense how he found it otherwise.
Exactly. Well, there's lots of problems with that movie, Aaron. We all agree.
Well, indeed. And onto another thing that has a lot of structural problems, apparently. Metal Gear Solid.
Okay. Are we leaving Oculus Rift?
I don't know, what else
Yeah.
can we say about the Oculus Rift?
True.
Well,
I like immersion. Simon
I
does it.
think it's important to point out what I said earlier about how there's no advantage to the player when you're playing the game to be able to look at something without pointing your gun or your device at it. There's no reason why you would not want your gun to be pointing where you're looking.
Okay, let's
So why
let's
put
think,
in
let's,
that feature?
let's think out of the context of a gun.
Well,
maybe-
anything.
So you're playing Dear Esther.
Literally
You have to
anything.
look
Give
around.
me an example of a thing that you operate without looking at it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. Why even an item? Why not like something like Mirror's Edge or something? Where you don't
Well, no,
shoot.
because in Mirror's Edge you can look around as well.
Yeah, with your head.
Okay, maybe in Mirror's Edge, then it has some purpose. But I mean, really, no one has ever thought when playing a game, wouldn't this game be improved if I could look around, not in the direction of the thing my
Because you make
gun
the
is pointing
game.
at?
You make the game around it. It's a niche project that you'd make a game for.
Yeah, but making games around gimmicks doesn't work. We all know this. That's why Kinect and the Wii are such terrible machines.
Yeah, but I don't know, we're assuming that this is a gimmick and that there's kind of an inherent problem.
Well,
But,
I mean, it's less irritating than a gimmick because it still at least provides a screen, whereas Kinect is dancing around and it's exhausting. But at least this is just a
I
screen.
don't know, I
if you
imagine
know
it's
what I
pretty
mean.
exhausting to move your head around now I think about it. Like, you think how much she moved her head around in Mirror's Edge. My neck gets hurt pretty easily. I think I find that strenuous.
Pen old man. Don't play it.
I think down this way madness lies, and this is exactly the kind of sort of capitulating nonsense that the gaming industry does now, because it needs a new gimmick, and so it makes it, and then everyone pours loads of money into it and just gets a shit load of terrible games out of it.
The gaming industry.
Well,
didn't make it.
this was Kickstarter.
Yeah.
This was entirely from Vegas.
Okay, well, this is
grassroots.
exactly the kind of thing that happens now.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, well, indeed. I guess this might be one of the reasons you dislike Kickstarter.
Well, I think the nice thing about it is that it's not owned by a company. Like it's not like Microsoft have to provide for it. It's
I think
anyone.
Valve's just about to take over
Well,
it.
exactly. We'll come free with the Steam box, but like I don't know, it's just a nice little extra thing that maybe someone can add in support for.
Yeah,
So,
maybe
yeah.
there will be something fun that comes out of it, but as a long-term strategy, the virtual reality helmet is going to die a death. I
Like maybe
think.
a Safari game. You know.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
that-
just like on Kinect. Kinectimals is a Safari game, right?
Africa. Africa was a Safari game, a very unknown PS3 game released only in Japanese territories, which I wanted and I couldn't get because it's all in fucking Japanese and I can't speak that language.
And yet you refuse to learn.
Why would I? Why would I, Aaron?
You were evidently
they-
to play Africa.
Oh, why aren't there any subtitles? But
Indeed. There you go,
but-
Japan, Metal Gear. talk.
There we go, Metal Gear. Basically, they're getting rid of David Hayter as the voice artist. I think that's bullshit. I think he's a very integral part of it because it's, let's face it, it's not really a game. It's just a movie that you crawl around in a bit.
Is Snake still a prominent part of Metal Gear? And this is going to sound stupid, but I thought I thought he disappears for long periods of times, and that other guy takes over, like Raiden or something.
Right, that's in like the second one. For all the others, it's Snake, but it's also Old Snake Man because he's a clone. It's not Old Snake. Solid. It's Jesus Christ, I've forgotten this. There's Solid Snake and there's Simon. Do you not remember Snake's name? Oh my God.
It's not Solid Snake.
No, the one before him. His father, his clone, the guy who's cloned off.
I don't know.
Oh my God. Anyway, previous Snake, 1978 Snake. He's the main character in this one, but he's still the voice of him is still done by David Hayter.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, like I mean, it's like I'm assuming by Simon's response, he hasn't played much Metal Gear Solid either.
He hasn't. I think he's watched the cutscenes to Metal Gear Solid 3.
I've got the third one underneath my bed, but I know that I will probably never get around to playing it.
One of the best games ever made. Play it.
But I haven't played 1 and 2.
I will play them as well.
Well, I can't because Sony just came around and removed backwards compatibility from my PS2.
Well,
so...
the first one's on the GameCube.
Ah, shit.
And the second one's on the Xbox.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No, they got
how did these games ever get popular?
Because they were Sony exclusives and they got popular that way. And now they've all been ported. But right, next? Finding Dory, the pointless sequel that comes along with every other Pixar pointless sequel. Gotta love those pointless sequels.
Yeah, why are they making sequels all the time?
I don't know.
Well, to be fair, we say it all the time, but aren't the next two not sequels? Because you have to remember, Finding Dory is like 3 years away
Alright,
from now.
Monsters University.
No, but after that,
that's a sequel.
Isn't it Dinosaur 1 and then Inside Out?
Yeah.
So, we say, why they're making sequels all the time, but this is, we're going to be like 25 or 24 when this rolls around.
We've had Toy Story 3, Cars 2. Toy Story 3 is valid. That was a slightly needed sequel, and there was a story there.
Sure.
But Cars 2, fuck off.
Well, Cars 1 wasn't needed.
No, Cars 1 wasn't needed. Cars 2 was just disgusting. That was just overkill. And then there was actually I like Cars 2 more than Cars 1, by the way. And then Finding Dory just seems like, is it just going to be? Is that it? Is it just the Finding franchise? Is that what we're going to have to call it? And each version of it is just going to be someone goes missing. Because you know what other film series did that? Toy Story. Toy Story 1 is about finding Buzz, and Toy Story 2 is about finding Woody. They've already done this movie.
Well, this is the other inherent question. Because obviously, like, how big a part is Ellen DeGeneres going to have in this film? Because
I don't know. I mean, Dory is like a pretty one-note character.
Well, indeed. I mean, she's just kind of like a ditzy spaz.
Yeah, which was funny, and it was very heartwarming when her and Marlon became friends. But ooh,
so they
never
never got together. What's the point?
Well, it didn't really say, did it?
Didn't it? I thought it was assumed they didn't.
I reckon Marley was a dirty bastard. I bet he just fucked her every night that she forgot it. It was sort of like date rape, but it was in her mind all the time.
Poor Nemo. That's all I can say. Can fish even interbreed? I assume not.
No, I don't think so. They seem to have a very, God, it must be horrible being in that society because, like, at least we only have like racism within a few groups. They've got like if racism breaks out in the fish sort of society, you've got thousands of variations. Must be awful.
So perhaps they'll be fine because they're so saturated, and you never really
that
seen
makes
more,
them all the same.
Yeah, you've never really seen more than one of the same. Like the only two repeating fish you see are really the two clownfish. So maybe they will just accept it.
True, maybe.
Everyone's just their own fish. I think that's just because Pixar likes to make everything look distinct. I wonder if any of like the kind of dentist fish tank crew will return.
Well, I don't know. Willem Dafoe needs the work.
I was going to say it was Willem Dafoe, but I wasn't certain. Thank you.
Well, it was Willem Dafoe, and I can't think of anyone else actually in that fish tank. Pretty sure that was it. I'm pretty sure that was the only famous one.
Low budget fish tank.
Actually, their story ends really depressingly because they're just
Yeah,
stuck
they're
in
all
those
trapped in
bags, aren't
yeah. Yeah, I bet. Oh, this is what happens when you make a Pixar film because you don't intend to make a sequel, and then years down the line, you're like, "Yep,
they?
make a sequel."
It was the one film I was expecting them not to make a sequel. I agree with you. I think The Incredibles 2 was much more likely. And if you're going to make a sequel, I think it's unneeded, but The Incredibles 2 has more to work with.
I think even Bugs Life 2, I was expecting more than Finding Nemo 2.
Bugs Life,
Because
Bugs Life didn't make that much money. That's why.
yeah, but even I know because Finding Nemo, it's in the name. It was
Yeah.
it's done. Nemo was found.
Yeah, and they've done it with Finding Dory.
Well, but yeah, I guess I just
That's-
didn't see it coming. I guess that's why I
Exactly.
was so. That's why I came to you and I was like, we need to talk about this.
You came to me with tears, whiskey on your breath,
You
confused.
know how seriously I take Pixar films. But hey, like I said,
Yeah.
we'll be older and more able to cope with it. But we'll have hopefully seen two quite good original Pixar films in the meanwhile,
True. I
and
mean,
like a billion Toy Story shorts.
exactly. Oh shit. What about I still keep hearing rumors about Toy Story 4. That would
Sure.
piss me off if they made that.
Well-
I see no reason for that.
We've got a question section, and Toy Story 4 has been brought up.
Ah,
so
okay. We'll
wait for then.
get to that in a minute. Anyway, what else? We got more Star Wars stuff.
Oh yeah, we've got the last thing on our agenda, really, I suppose, is the fact that Dark Horse has decided, because I'm guessing this is Disney's approach now, because this is really easy
Who's
money.
Dark Horse, by the way? Are they a comic book company?
Yeah, they're a comic book publishing house.
Okay.
They interestingly enough, one of the few things I know that they did was a School Rumble, I think,
Okay.
because they branched into manga unsuccessfully. I might be wrong, but anyway, basically Disney's and weirdly enough, considering Disney has proven earlier on that they're averse to money, then they now want to make a comic book. And I think this is really lazy because this is literally just here is something that someone didn't deem worthy enough to make something out of. We are going to make something out of it.
And people
And-
will buy it.
True. And so consequently, we are now getting a draft of Star Wars as it should have been, or perhaps as it should never have been.
Do you think that's what Finding Dory is?
Well, originally, that was their original draft, and they were like, nope,
Here's
this
the
is-
scrapped idea.
no one cares enough about Dory to make a film about this.
I reckon Ellen DeGeneres has been pushing this. I don't because I think the last film she was in before, like, just Finding Nemo was just some shitty rom-com. But
Has
yeah.
she been
go on.
anything since?
No, I don't think so. I was looking at her
she's-
IMDb and it was really shit.
She's still got the show.
That's true.
Still the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Fair enough. But all right, so you got So yeah, okay. So the Star Wars comics are just the early ideas like Star Killer and
Yeah, well, I mean, which makes obviously it's not going to be part of the canon, I assume, though. Obviously, the Star Wars canon has recently become one of the more controversial issues, or one of the more controversial canons as well. But so I really just don't see the point because we all know that this Star Wars was shit because George Lucas' ideas were like half baked, half formed, kind of. Basically, everyone was still just either a samurai or a cowboy or an alien, and so yeah, it's just I just don't see the point. And I don't know why Disney decided that this. I guess it's because it doesn't cost Disney money because they know that Dark Horse would leap at the chance to do something original and Star Wars based.
I guess it's quite interesting, slightly.
I guess I don't know. You know, it would have been interesting. Battlefront 3.
I think it'd be more interesting. Is it actual like George Lucas's actual original ideas, or have they basically just heard some names and they're going?
No, it's the original script.
Oh, that's quite cool.
The first draft of the script is. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I'm
be
kind of
like
behind that.
it'd be like if you submitted the first draft of your essay and like, yeah, mark this. It's like no.
If it was going to make several million, yeah.
I guess if your your final essay had been wildly successful and you didn't want to make any more stuff or try that hard,
True.
then you could just release your first draft and claim it was a product. But I think that's a bit morally reprehensible and artistically bankrupt.
I think it would be fun to work on, and they're just I'm looking at it, it's just a bunch of guys having fun, whereas you're seeing the Disney sort of bastard behind his desk just cackling how easy money is to make.
If they had announced this last week, I'd have been fine with it. But
Oh,
at the moment,
okay.
I'm slightly pissed off.
How-
So,
Get over it, Aaron. You
Yeah,
didn't
well-
even know LucasArts existed. You're giving them credit for making stuff they hadn't even made. That's how desperate you were.
well, I assumed that they, it wasn't until I was doing the research while we were talking, I didn't realize that they hadn't made most of the Star Wars games. But their name is attached to all of them. I mean, there's still the LucasArts thing, but it's as a brand rather than as the studio itself, which is
As so it shall remain.
double speak. Yeah, well, now we just have the brand, which I guess might be for the best. Kind of, I don't know. Yeah. Alas.
Well, I won't be buying it because I don't really buy comics.
Oh, true. Well, I haven't bought comics in a few months now, so I might not. You save a lot of money when not buying comics.
Exactly. I'd have saved more money not buying Milo Zelota comics, but
Well, yeah.
there we go.
That's going to be an up and coming thing.
That is. Ooh.
So,
Okay.
should we get to the questions?
Yeah, go on. So,
Okay.
some desperate folks,
No, some lovely fans.
some lovely fans who
adoring viewership.
a lot of friends don't care what I have to think. But unless these questions are directed at you, Aaron, in which case that makes more sense.
I don't. Well, no, I think I assume they're directed at the site.
Fair enough.
I mean, I asked them.
No.
I mean, yes, I did ask them, but I asked them in an article as in for us to talk about, not for me
okay.
to talk about.
Simon, are you gonna get involved in this one?
Well, you've seen Wreck-It Ralph, and he has opinions different to us on Wreck-It Ralph,
Oh yeah, you didn't finish it though.
didn't he?
No.
Oh.
Simon, have you gone to take a piss?
No, I'm here.
Okay,
Okay.
right, good. What do you think of Wreck-It Ralph?
Okay,
Wreck-It
Wait a second,
Ralph.
I'll read the
Go on.
question.
Aaron,
Which would you prefer, Wreck-It Ralph 2 or Toy Story 4? Which obviously gives you scope to talk about both films
Oh god.
and the franchises.
I would actually, I mean, in spite of everything, I would say Wreck-It Ralph 2, just because it might give them a second chance to make something good out of what was an okay idea. But yeah, Wreck-It Ralph 1 was like so mundane. It was
did you finish it?
awful. No, but I stopped watching because it was that bad.
Aaron, by the way, Aaron, he stopped watching it before the actual race.
What?
Yeah, you stopped watching it before they even really got to Candyland, didn't you?
No, it was after he gets kicked out of Candyland.
You didn't hear any of the plot twists.
Well, I got
Yeah.
told about the plot twists,
I know.
and there's
And
one
they-
twist.
Yeah, but it was a cool twist, and it got really good after that. It was really
It's not really a cool twist. It's just a generic like Disney plot twist. It's
I didn't,
just
I didn't see it coming. I was interested.
That's never been done in a Disney film before.
Yeah, they
Like-
very rarely have plot twists. I was expecting a plot twist.
well, I mean, if Disney was going to do a twist, it would be something of that caliber.
Well, you can say that now you've been told
Yeah, I
yeah,
it.
suppose,
yeah.
But no,
But
I
no,
mean,
I
I think you should watch the rest of Wreck-It Ralph.
I think a
either
twist
of
is
you
only
asked.
worth as much as the context that is in, because like I mean, you could write a really shitty story with a very surprising twist.
No, I
It's
think
only a
s-
good twist if it sort of changes your perceptions in some way. But if your perceptions is that all the characters are boring and pointless, then there's very little point to it.
Are they though?
Yeah, I mean,
they probably quite well.
I think Wreck-It Ralph was a perfect kind of confluence of things. I mean,
It was really fun.
it
Aaron
dealt
and I,
with it dealt with video game humor in a way that was not terrible.
I thought it
and-
dealt with video game humor in a way that was shallow and derivative, personally.
Well, I can't argue against your own perceptions, but
Aaron
I
and I-
didn't feel that way.
Aaron and I had a lovely day watching it, and then we had a Frankie and Benny's, and we talked about it.
Yeah, it
It's
was beautiful.
not-
Maybe
it's
it's
lovely.
because you're bitter and alone. Simon.
No, it's
But
because
no.
it's actually a bad film. But
Also, Sarah Silverman,
Yeah,
incredible.
well, whatever. She's not even that good in it.
And the guy from 30 Rock as Fix-It Felix, he was really good.
Oh shit, was that him?
Yeah, it was a
Oh, okay.
G. Oh, come on, who else can do that? G?
Fix it, Felix.
Fix It Felix,
Fix
ma'am.
It Felix and that woman's romance was very funny. I
That was
enjoyed
good.
that.
Yeah, that was good. And her backstory and her kind of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
the way it was, the most tragic backstory ever programmed. That was funny.
Exactly. Yeah, no, Simon, we took loads of funny jokes in that.
Yeah.
It was a
yeah,
good comedy.
that one bit was quite amusing.
King
However,
Candy was
the rest
great.
of it was
Yeah,
dreadful.
King Cat, like you wouldn't hit a guy with glasses. Oh, you hit a guy with glasses. Touche.
No,
that-
that bit where Wreck-It Ralph is trapped in a big like cake or something, and he gets rolled down the thing. That was really good.
It's a kids' film.
Yeah, but
No, it's a family film.
It's a family film. But
well,
you
it's a
can have
family
jokes
film
like
that is mired in far too much like just low caliber humor, and like it doesn't have an interesting plot. And in terms of an imagined world, it's really inconsistent, and it's inconsistent beyond the point where you go like, oh, this is acceptable.
Was it inconsistent?
No,
An acceptable fallacy for
When was it inconsistent?
Yeah, I thought one of the things I congratulated on was
Yeah.
the fact that the electronic kind of subway system was pretty well developed.
It made
Okay,
perfect
so
sense.
here's something that's inconsistent. when the characters are being viewed from outside, they are like all pixely or whatever, and they like their movements
Oh god.
inside the machine reflect their movements as viewed by the players, and also like some characters are in the same level of detail as they are in the game as viewed by the player, and some are in a level of detail that makes them look more realistic, as as if the game is interpreting the way they look to the player in a lower resolution format. But the fact that like the little dudes who live in the house, they move like 8-bit creatures, but they look like fully 3D Disney characters, and it doesn't make any
That's
fucking
because they're
sense.
background characters. That's just the reason Felix and Wreck-It Ralph can move more is because they've got more actions and determinable actions. The reason the background characters don't is because that they just exist like kind of basically to jump up and down and say
Well, no,
hooray.
but Wreck-It Ralph has the same frame rate on his movements
It was
when viewed by the player.
funny. Why? That is such a minor complaint.
Well, no, because it just like it sets up like something that is already like it's like you don't understand what the parameters are for these characters' existence, and so it
No,
sucks all the
'cause they
interesting
move
ideas
everywhere.
out of the imagined world.
Don't concede
And,
this,
like,
Tim Harvey. I still think this is.
This is just one of many things. Like how is scale determined? Why are some things like huge when they exist in a screen? Like there's some kind of like underlying thing, and like when you play the shooting game, like why do the characters behave slightly differently each time you play the shooting game? Because they wouldn't if it was a game.
Because it's a more advanced game. I mean, the reason that Wreck-It Ralph and Fix It Felix do the same routine every time is because it's a game from like the 80s, whereas the other characters are more advanced. It's the same reason that the FPS one uses like a author insert rather than playing as Fix It Felix himself. It uses the little screen.
Yeah, I mean,
It's video games advancing.
I can't remember it in like sort of conspicuous detail, but I do remember it being inconsistent and just being like too loosely defined to the point where the world meant nothing to me.
But it didn't affect the plot or anything. It didn't affect anything. It was just somebody didn't move right.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. My point was it was an inconsistent imagined world, which made
And like
it
I
not
said,
interesting.
don't concede to him that it was an inconsistent imagined world.
No,
Because it
I'm
was
not.
fairly damn consistent.
I'm sure I could find some inconsistencies like that in Toy Story. It doesn't ruin the world.
Well, no,
Like,
because
why
in Toy Story, you accept certain things. Like even though these things are made of cloth, they are able to motilate and think. Like that's pretty much the only things you have to accept. But in Wreck-It Ralph, you don't know what you have to accept in order to understand the world.
Well, you need to understand that these are electronic kind of representations that are also sentient. Surely it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but why do some behaviors carry over from the games they're in and some behaviors don't?
Well, why is Woody 60 and technically and not remember or not ever mention things beyond it and things like that? I mean, there's plenty of flaws in the Toy Story universe as well.
There is actually a reason for that.
Why are they constantly scarred by not? Why aren't they constantly like talking about the fact that Andy wanks every night and stuff like that?
It's true.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you can nitpick it to shit.
Exactly. Oh yeah, but the overall story
like,
was funny and entertaining.
In Toy Story, this is just stuff that is omitted because it's not relevant. But like in Wreck-It Ralph, just the entire world makes no sense.
I think that's a big statement on something that's really minor.
Well, the world is undermined by a few like critical flaws.
And you didn't like any other aspects of it?
No, I thought the story was really like boring. Like, I mean, they wasted a lot of opportunities they had with the licenses they got.
But you hadn't even got to the story.
Well, no, but and also the license.
I was like halfway through the film, and like
it's an hour and a half film.
Yeah, and I swear, like we must have watched like an hour of it. It's like
if you had only just got to the bit where he was cut out, then no.
Well, I mean, it was just it's a hollow story with like.
Had they been in the code yet?
What do you mean by the code?
Well, exactly. You haven't watched hardly any of that movie.
Well, I'm sure the code would further serve to warp my perspective on what exactly the reality is.
The code bit is really cool.
Yeah, it's clever.
Yeah, it's clever. It's all clever.
It's not all clever. 90% of what I watched was trash.
Yeah, but you watched 50% of the movie, so you've only seen 45% of it. You haven't seen anything.
I've seen enough to decide that it's a bad movie in the first half.
Alright,
Definitely.
well, Simon wants a sequel to a bad movie.
Yeah.
I want Wreck-It Ralph 2 because
I
I don't care about Toy Story anymore.
Yeah, indeed. I think the Toy Story machine's going to keep humming anyway with these shorts. So yeah, I think Wreck-It Ralph 2 would be. I think it would be fun. And they've talked about it, and they kind of want to.
I thought they were
want,
basically
like,
making it anyway.
they want Ralph to kind of go onto the internet, which I think would be pretty cool.
Cool. I don't know how that would work. That's
Well,
when I might start thinking, oh shit.
I know, because
But,
if you think about how the electronic streams, etc., work, then the internet can just basically be, grafted on as kind of like a superhighway.
True.
I
Alright,
know,
yeah.
I think-
No, I think the internet. I think the sequel would be really cool.
I'm interested. I'd be interested in it. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we need a good story as well. That was like the first one, not just more
Indeed.
characters going, "Ooh, I'm Mario," and all that shit.
Well,
But,
Mario
yeah.
was gonna, they had the license to Mario, but they couldn't find a way to include him, so they didn't. So that
Yeah,
shows
that's-
restraint.
That's what
Because
I've
that's the thing; it never felt like they were just throwing characters in there.
Exactly. In fact, most of the characters they picked, I actually had to ask you what a few of them were.
Oh yeah,
A few of them we didn't even know either. Yeah.
Indeed, I mean, it wasn't just for us. I mean, it's for the kind of like my parents' generation who played arcade games, etc. It
Sure.
was nice. I mean, considering those are the people who have to take their kids to see these films.
Overall, a very good film.
Indeed,
A very
and I
good animated
I
movie.
look forward to the sequel.
It's
And,
a mundane film that will be defended by sentimental folk.
But we're not being sentimental. I actually
Aaron
hated
was
it.
literally just being sentimental.
I think I like. Yeah, and I'll agree that I was being sentimental.
Remember, Aaron, I was saying I thought Wreck-It Ralph was going to be shit. And
Yeah.
then we went in there and it was good, so it turned me round.
There you go.
Which
Yeah,
is
I went in
impressive.
thinking it would be good, and it turned me around.
You didn't
so-
go in anyway, you were sitting in the living room watching a pirated copy. It doesn't count.
Well, I was watching it because I wanted to see it, and then it turned out to be shit. And
I
it
bet
was
you
really
didn't even.
disappointing.
I bet you didn't even see Paperman beforehand to get you in the mood.
Oh man, Paperman gets you right in the mood.
Yeah, I was so
Yeah, I've
happy
heard that
after-
Paperman's good.
Paperman's
Paperman is
really
good.
good.
Seen the
Love it.
funny college humor threesome one?
No.
Joke. Basically, it turns out Paperman is a dirty bastard that wants a threesome. He tries to get them all high on E. It's quite funny. It was quite funny.
Fair
But,
enough. It'd best be better than College Humor's recent attempt of Game of Thrones High School, which
Oh
was
fuck, that
cringe
pissed me off.
worthy. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because considering that is not a terrible concept, I'm really annoyed how terribly it was. I don't know what it was. It was just hipster jokes.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because it was just like, sort of, just like monkeying the themes of Game of Thrones, like sort of the belonging to cliques being a metaphor for belonging to a house, and that's basically all it was. Just like they made that connection, and they were like, yeah, okay, let's just make like a 5-minute thing out of it that will get us like millions in ad revenue.
What do you mean, a 5-minute thing? They're making a series of it.
Yeah, I know it's a series now, but I saw the original one.
Oh, get you. You were at Game of Thrones High School before it was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have 2 more questions technically, though one is just a question about if we take questions, to which the answer is yes. The other
Yeah.
one is our
Yep.
favorite comedy, which I think we're gonna probably very very wildly on.
Are we talking movie?
I guess. I don't know. Yeah, we'll say movies. It's easier.
Give three good ones that you like.
Because you can't remember which ones you like.
Alright,
Who,
three
me?
movies.
If anyone. I mean, I posed the question. I think you guys should go first.
Yes,
No,
he
a
posed the
reader
question.
posed the question.
Exactly.
Oh, fine. Movies I like. The Big Lebowski is one of my favorite comedy movies, I think.
Yeah, it's funny.
See, exactly. It's the big comedy is so relative. I know. I quite like Wayne's World. Shoot me.
I watched Wayne's World recently. I used to love Wayne's World, but it is so shit.
Maybe comedies is a bit divisive. Go on
No.
then. What's your comedies, funny boy?
No, go on. Sorry.
I'm not talking. No, I'm not talking anymore.
You haven't given your third one, Aaron. You've abused the fucking. You've abused. Oh, I forgot. My Austin Powers one. I really like. Shaun of the Dead, and Office Space.
I've
Those
never
are
heard of
some
Office
of
Space.
Office Space is really funny.
Fair
Watch
enough.
Office Space. It's one of the best comedies.
Shaun of the Dead, as far as I remember, is really funny, but I haven't seen it since it
I watched
came
it
out.
2
I
days.
don't
I watched
think.
it 2 days ago. I still love it.
Fair enough. And yeah, as far as I remember, Austin Powers is also pretty good.
What's your third one,
Ish.
Aaron? What's your third one?
The third Austin Powers. I'm a gold member.
No, what's your third funny movie? Funny movie.
Oh, I don't know. Simon, name a funny movie while I think.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah, comedy of the year.
I'm just looking through this list on IMDb, and they're all shit.
I would actually probably say one of my favorite comedies of the year, weirdly, was That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler, which I thought was going to be shit, but I watched it with a friend, and it was really funny, and it had every generic joke it could have had in it. It had the horny grandmother, it had sort of the angry dad, but it was just funny.
Well, did one side have Jewish parents that objected to
I
it?
think no, it wasn't like that. There were a few Jews sprinkled about.
Obviously, it's Adam Sandler.
As is needed. But no, I thought it was just funny. It just really didn't care what it was doing. For that reason, it was quite funny. And even Vanilla Ice turned up, and he was quite good.
Did you tell me that Fargo isn't a comedy?
I didn't think it was funny. People have told me it's a comedy.
What about Raising Arizona? I think I just like the Coen Brothers comedies.
Raising Arizona is a bad comedy.
It's a great. Nicolas
fucking
Cage. No, I agree. Maybe I don't think it. I wasn't being serious. Zombieland.
Yeah, it's a comedy.
It's a comedy. But I don't think it's my favorite. I don't think it's in my top 3. Man, comedy is a good question.
For some reason, Groundhog Day is classified as a comedy.
Groundhog Day is a comedy.
And that's
definitely
probably
a comedy.
my favourite comedy, but not because it makes me laugh.
Yeah, it's true. That was what Mark Commode was talking about. If saying, "Can you enjoy a comedy even if it doesn't make you laugh?" Groundhog Day is pretty. I love Groundhog Day.
Yeah,
And a lot of people haven't seen Groundhog Day, which I've noticed, and I don't know why. It's it's a really original movie idea.
That's weird though, because I don't think like someone was saying, I wouldn't class it as one of my favorite comedies, but it's undoubtedly a comedy, and I undoubtedly enjoy it.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Oh, Dodgeball. That's up there for me.
That's great. That's a funny movie.
I can't remember how much I liked Office Space. You're gonna have to remind me. With their laughs.
Oh shit! Did we watched it, right? Yeah, I mean, everyone seemed to enjoy it.
Yeah, I guess it's sort of. Yeah, I mean, Office Space is quite niche, isn't it? Like, not a lot of people have seen it.
Yeah, no, not a lot of people. Not a lot of people have heard of it for some reason. But it's like one of Mike Judge's really early films. So.
I'll say that was my second one, and my third one is the South Park movie.
Shit, I forgot about that.
Animated, sure. Yeah.
I might say Team America. Or Aladdin. Aladdin is one of my favourite comedies, actually.
Is Aladdin? Actually, I guess Aladdin is a comedy.
Aladdin. I mean, it's all held up on the genie, but the genie is so funny.
What about
Yeah.
4 Lions? Did any of you guys see that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Four Lions.
Yeah.
4 Lions is brilliant. That actually goes up to. That's in my top 3 now. Forget Office Space.
Watch 4 Lions if you haven't heard of it. I know it was quite small. Good movie. An insightful movie about terrorism in Middle England.
In Sheffield or something, isn't it? Or Leeds?
Yeah, Leeds.
Yeah, that was really good.
Well, I'm glad we've agreed on that.
Well, we didn't agree on anything. I don't think any of us stated a similar thing we enjoyed.
We all agreed on 4 Lions, and someone went 4 Lions. We went, oh shit! Which means
I said 4 Lions.
Oh, well, there we go
You
then.
can't even
everyone.
I
agree
thought
on
Harvey said 4 Lions.
Right, four Lions
No,
is the best comedy ever made, and we all agree on that.
Yeah,
my
I would have
DV
to
rack.
agree.
That's a nice way to close, because usually we close on an angry note, but now we close on a happy note.
We almost closed on an angry note.
Alright. Shut up.
Yeah, fuck you.
Bye, everyone. I'm never making this again.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna do one tomorrow.
For fuck's sake.
After you finish Assassin's Creed.
Got work tomorrow.
Fine.
I'll skip work.
Don't skip work.
Yeah.
Don't record that you're gonna skip work either. It's a terrible idea.
What? No one I know listens to these.
Really?
Of course not. They go on for ages. Like this one. Bye.
Yeah. It's later.
But I say bye, so
Oh, bye.
whatever.